For today's video, we're going to be making a charging handle out of this bolt for a 22. So we're going to make this bolt fit into there and then add a detent to it. First thing we want to do is round the head off of this. To do that, we're going to use the grinder and a drill gun. That's what it looks like roughed out. We're going to grind the threads down. So I've got a 1/2 inch drill here. The reason you use a drill is you want it uniformed all the way around. The drill keeps it, otherwise you'd have to turn it real slow, be real careful with it. This sort of speeds up the process. That's what it looks like right now. And as you can see, it fits in a little bit tight, which is good. I'm going to put it back into the smaller drill and hit it like this to finish cleaning up this part. Alright, now we got it roughed out. It's still a little bit tight. For the next step, you're going to need some sandpaper. I got the sandpaper. I'm using this belt stuff. Pretty much going to be the same thing. You want to fold it over like that. Run it in the drill. Okay, we're back to the big drill. We're going to use sandpaper and thin that down just a hair more. That's going to be close enough. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more and teardrop this in here. And the next thing that will happen is we'll have to mark it and do the hole for the detent. That's what it looks like now. We're going to clean it up a little bit with the sandpaper. So that's what it looks like at this point. I get a little bit more of those threads out. So what I'm doing is drawing a straight line all the way down it. And that's going to mark the top. Mark a cross section. I'm going to need to punch and drill a hole there almost all the way through. Detent, I'm going to use a BB. Now to make the detent work correctly, I'm going to have to flatten one side of it. Back to the grinder. Oh, that one's gone. Try number 2. That should work. Punched it with the center punch right there. The next step is drill a pilot hole, the little drill bit, and widen it with that larger one that's at the same size or as close to as you can get to the BB. So there's going to be a little bit of wobble. And you don't want to drill all the way through. You want to drill probably 3/4. So I'm going to do that off screen. Okay. Now we've got the hole drilled about 3/4 of the way through. You don't want to go too far because it's come out through the side, and it's just at the same size as the BB. And that's a whole BB in it. As you can see, It fills up the hole completely. Now with the get it back out. There it goes. With half a BB, put it in, and see how it's recessed, and that gives you space for the spring. Now the reason why I'm using a BB is you're going to need a spring. They sell gun springs that'll work, but I find clicky pin springs work pretty good. They're a little bit tight, but it'll fit in the hole. Now you got to trim pretty short. You want to trim the end off. Usually has 3 or 4 coils that are pretty solid. So we're going to cut this one with 3 coils. Slip that in. Gotta be careful because it'll shoot out. That's gonna work. They have to clean the edges up of the BB. You don't have to really file on it, just kind of knock that burr off from grinding it. So I had to bend the last coil in a little bit because it was catching on the side. Then you got your flat BB, flat side towards the spring. And now it really forces out. Now the way you keep it in there is you need a center punch that the head is wider than the hole, and you want to file that point down on it. I ended up drilling the hole down just a hair more. The BB is a little bit too hard to do, but the next step is you want to put the BB and the spring in the hole, and then you want to put your center punch as a tip ground down in it, and then strike with a hammer. What that'll do is curl the edges in, and that'll hold the BB. So I'm going to go do that real quick. I made a second one. I wasn't happy with the threads on the first one, but the process is the same. I cleaned this one up with the Dremel a little bit better, and you can see the BB works as a detent, and it sticks out farther than the side of the bolt, or what was a bolt. And this one's tolerances are a little bit better. This is what the previous owner was using, which is a tire inflator valve. I guess that screwed into some specialty tire or something, but they had just stuck it through there, and it would work for cocking it, but it falls out. And the new one with the little detent stays in. Safety check. Stays in. Works. Now there's no safety on it. This one had a wider spot on the original bolt that would sit into this spot here, act as a safety. So this gun no longer has a safety, but I don't have the machine to build that correctly. If I had a lathe, I could lathe the step into it and make a real nice one. But I'm just working with a couple screw guns and a grinder. So, and a drill press, which helps out on drilling the hole straight. But that's it for this video.